Hey guys, what's up? Happy Friday. Excuse my crazy hair. It's just one of those days. Today we're gonna do a channeled reading just for you guys, the Perkshop Collective, on stepping into your future self and anything you need to know about it. So I have a few oracle decks that I'm gonna pull from, and then just anything that pops in to my mind while we're doing it is what's gonna come out. But I think today what I'm gonna do for you guys is inner child oracle deck card. And then I'm for sure going to start with a letting go card. What do we need to let go of? And then I may do how I want to start is just with a what to let go of card, because a big theme with this was shedding the version of you that is no longer serving you. So we're going to see what advice Spirit has for you about just kind of shedding that old version of yourself. And then we'll go from there on what I feel called to, because I have a couple other oracle decks that I think we might dive into. So, okay. What does the Perkshop Collective need to know about stepping into their future self, their highest self, and all that? Okay. We got 3 cards came out. 1 fell on the floor. The first one that came out was Surrender. Whoop, sorry, I want you to be able to see it. Surrender Resentments. The next one that came out was Surrender Defensiveness. And the third one that came out was Surrender Negative Thinking. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay, give me a sec. I'm going to read the cards. The first one that came out that said, Surrender Resentments. Holding on to resentments only poisons you. Try to forgive others for their shortcomings and keep moving forward towards positive situations in your life. What I'm feeling with this card is that as you're stepping into your future self and saying goodbye to these old versions of you, you might be feeling kind of resentful towards the people who were part of creating those beliefs. And that is so valid, by the way. Like I've so been there, so you're definitely not alone in that feeling of just being like, why did you have to say that? Why did you have to do that? It's so frustrating that I believe this because of you. Like those are very normal feelings. But thinking like that and staying stuck in that energy is only going to hold you back. It's not going to change anything for them. So just allowing yourself to lovingly release that energy, I think, is really helpful, because it's really only just keeping you stuck. Your defensiveness, surrendering defensiveness. This says, defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear, non-defensive response. Personally, I believe everybody should stand up for themselves. So with this card, sometimes I've gotten it before and been like rolling my eyes at it. But what I will say is that defensiveness sometimes comes up when we are trying to protect an old version of ourselves that's really not serving us anymore. So what could be happening is you feel defensive towards becoming that better version of you on some level. And it could be because you're trying to break down like a big barrier in your mind of like, it's okay for me to be this version of myself. And this could also be somebody else's defensiveness towards your change. So when other people start to react like that too towards the way you shift into your future self, just trust and know that they're projecting their old wounds onto you. This has nothing to do with you. It's stuff that they don't want to process, they don't want to see. When you start to change who you are and start to better yourself, it shines a light on other people in where they haven't done that, and sometimes that can make other people very uncomfortable. So you don't have to take on their defensiveness, and you don't have to defend yourself to them either. Just like let it bounce off and kind of roll with it and be your own person, especially if this is people from the past, which is what I'm feeling like it is. And then the last one is surrender negative thinking. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. Definitely keep doing the affirmations that we created last week. B, I think sometimes when you start breaking apart these belief systems and start thinking something new, it's easy to feel a lot of doubt of like, hey, is this really true? Can I really believe this about myself? If you start to feel like that, just like I energetically will be like, I'm not thinking like that, and wipe it away out of my brain, and start and refocus my thoughts onto something else. So I definitely recommend that. Okay, so now that we know what to let go of, I'm going to do an inner child oracle deck card. What does this collective need to welcome in as they are stepping into their future self? I want one more. Got two more. Okay, that's fine. We'll do three. They're all over the place. Okay, the first one that came out is flow with the rhythm. Get lost in the rhythm of movement today. And there's little dancers on it and stuff. I would not be surprised if a lot of you are art-oriented dancers, stuff like that. I think moving your body is such a great way to connect with spirit. And when I go dance personally, it really strengthens my confidence and helps me visualize and step into my future self. And when I leave after dancing and stuff like that, I always feel so much like more empowered. Like I can actually do this. So I'm telling you that for a reason. I'm wondering if maybe you just need to like dance in your bathroom after your shower a little more, stuff like that. I mean, flow with the rhythm also can just mean like go with the flow, but and that's true. When you're stepping into your future self, like I mentioned in our very first video, like take it gentle, take it bite-sized, one at a time, allow it to flow into your life. You don't need to force a big, huge change. But I definitely feel like it's important for you to move your body however it feels good to you, because that is going to help you stay empowered in your change. The other two cards that came out at the same time say, you can do hard things and you do not have to go it alone. It's not as impossible as it may feel. Reach out for support in this time. I think this is kind of saying it would be helpful for you to find some friends or maybe like new acquaintances that have similar values to you or have the values that your future self holds, so that you can be around that energy and not feel like I remember when I first started stepping into a different version of myself, and I was kind of breaking through the limitations of my past, really feeling like I don't have a lot of people around me that are like this, and is this really okay for me? And finding people who were aligned with me was really helpful in me stepping into that new identity and feeling really good about it. So definitely reach out to some people that you think might be aligned with you, and just trust that you are going to be able to make this change. It can feel like a big journey when you want to step into a version of you that you haven't seen yet, or like it's impossible. But I always say this, instead of trying to get from, point A to point B, just focus on what the next correct step is for you. What small action could I take today that would take me one step closer to that version of myself? And then there was another card that came out that I felt called to give you guys, and it says, you are enough. You are worthy of being this version of yourself. You might not see it now, but the more that you just step into it and give yourself the time and space to become this version of you, you're going to thank yourself for it later. You're going to be so grateful that you took the steps that you did today. So know that you are worthy of all of the things. You're worthy of being that version of you. Trust it. Okay, and then I just want to pull one more for you guys. This is my Pocket Animal Spirit deck. Love this deck. Typically I ask when I pull this deck, like, how can we bring this energy into balance? But I'm feeling like you guys just need like a little bit of advice. So this is going to be like more of an advice card, but probably hit both questions. What does the Perkshop Collective need to know about stepping into their future self confidently and in an empowered way? Oh, it kind of wanted to come out and then it didn't. I'm going to put it back in and see if it comes out again. Oh, that one wanted to come out. You guys, these cards are so slippery. More than usual today. Okay. These are good. I'm hearing one more, so we're going to do one more. And I got like 4, but that's okay. So we got the scorpion, the bee, and the mouse. I'm going to read these cards to you guys because they all have really like kind of detailed information, but I feel like for each one of you, like, take what resonates and leave the rest. I feel like each of these cards might be for one person specifically, so you'll know when it was for you. Scorpion. The scorpion's traits are passionate, competitive, and tends towards isolation. That's really interesting because we got the card about collaborating. The Scorpion is a passionate and determined creature. Their career is very important to them, as are a few select friends. Sometimes the Scorpion's heat festers, and they focus on an unresolved event from the past, usually a situation where they were left feeling burned, resentment from earlier. The Scorpion card says it's time to come clean about your feelings so everyone can heal and you can get back to your usual, fiery but fun self. When in balance, you are wild and free and fierce. But when you're out of balance, you're jealous, resentful, and unresolved. To bring into balance, honesty and forgiveness. Last week, I had mentioned, if there's something like a big conversation you need to have or something like that, to take it gently and slow. And what I'm feeling when I read this is like maybe go journal about whatever this is. If this is making sense to you and you're picking up on it and it feels right to you, I want you to go, whatever these situation was, go write down your true feelings about it and self-validate it. You don't need anybody else to tell you that your feelings are correct because they are your feelings. And then from there, you can go about being honest with other people, but it allows you to like a second to process all of the feelings so that it doesn't come out too fiery, and so that you're able to communicate in the way that you really truly want to. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is the bee. The bee's traits are earnest, hardworking, and democratic. The bee personality is a delight to be around, especially when there's a team project on the horizon. Bees love to work steadily and thoughtfully until the final task is complete. They are sensitive creatures aware of many subtleties at once. Since they're artists at heart, they usually add creative details to the overall vision. For the most part, they have bustling, joyous personalities, until they're too tired from all of the work. They then gripe and sting. It's really interesting that there was 2 stinging cards in this one. When in balance, they are content, active, and vibrant, but when they are out of balance, they're overworked and annoyed. To bring into balance, take a mini vacation. So maybe just need a little time away from working so hard and just give yourself 5 seconds of air and breath and space. I'm also intuitive. I keep rubbing my arms and stuff, which is something that I used to do a lot when I was feeling nervous or doubt. So I don't know if there's a project that you're working on that you're feeling doubt about, but trust yourself, as what I was hearing when I was doing that. It was trust yourself. You're okay. Okay, and then the next one is the mouse. I feel like all of you guys are super ambitious, really well detailed people because all of these cards are like this. Okay, so the mouse is detail-oriented, small-minded, nitpicky, and nervous. The mouse has an innate desire to tend to the details. It often spends its days fixing, preparing, organizing, and scrutinizing. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. Soon, they begin to have a limited and fearful vision of life and try to control every detail. This can be quite a painful experience for both the mouse and those around them. When mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. It may be time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye. When in balance, you're organized, resourceful, and prepared, but when out of balance, you're busy with no purpose. To bring into balance, find a meaningful project. Based on all 3 of those cards, there's one more I'm going to read for you guys, but based on all 3 of those cards, I just feel like whatever you've been focusing on for the last year or so, maybe it could be more or less than that, but I'm hearing a year, is not exactly aligned with you, and it's based off your old identity is what it really is. So if there's something that if you can take a break and get quiet, meditate, go somewhere for the weekend, just kind of have a reset, maybe go party with your friends, just be a human for a little bit. I feel like oftentimes I get all the light bulb moments when I'm just existing, and I think that is true for you guys too. Maybe you need a little time to exist and a little time to release some old energy so that you can welcome in the new. There is one more card I want to read, and it is the frog. It's a pretty little frog. Let's see. Sorry guys, I don't mean to take, it's kind of hard to find these sometimes. If you guys are cool with it in the future, I will crop these parts out, but I like to leave them because it's a channeled message. Okay, frog, clearing, cleansing, and healing. The frog and water element are almost inseparable. The frog spends its first months of life entirely within this healing element and then emerges to rest on land. But no matter how earthly the frog becomes, its need for cleansing and rejuvenation is regular. Frogs tend to become overworked and undernourished, so it's vital that such sensitive creatures practice self care. This card serves as a reminder that water helps us cleanse, forgive, and release. Time to dive in. Frogs aren't meant to carry a heavy load. When in balance, the frog has clear energy and enthusiasm for life. But when out of balance, it's depleted, running on empty. That's it. And then to bring into balance, go to a lake, river, ocean, or bathhouse. So you guys definitely need some rejuvenation. You need to cleanse out that old. And before you even welcome the new, just like cleanse it out. Have some fun. Do some self-care, I think is really important. I feel like maybe some water energy would be good for you. So whether that's take a bath or just go jump in a lake or whatever that could be, or a pool, just go get your whole body wet, put your head under the water, and allow yourself to just be like cleansed through. So that was really interesting. I feel like that really aligns with, when you're in that first starter phase of just like getting rid of an old identity and stepping into a new one. But I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I will have another one for you next month, and I'll see you again soon.